everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 1025. You know, there are times where in the midst of a meeting or maybe a conversation, something bubbles to the surface, something that I believe is really important. And so I'll simply say to that person, let's talk more. And I believe that now is a time in the midst of the racial tensions that have bubbled to the surface in the last couple of weeks for us as a country, as a community, that this is a time where we need to simply say, let's talk more. See, right now, this is not a time where we can be silent. This is a time where we need to speak up. You know, I heard another pastor talk about it this way. He stood before his congregation and he held up a water bottle. And he asked, "What do you see on this bottle? What words are there?" And they shouted out to him the brand of the water bottle. And then he looked at it and he said, "I don't see that. Those words aren't on my side." And he used that to simply acknowledge that when it comes to issues of race, especially as a white male, there are things that we don't see from our perspective. I have not experienced racism. I have not experienced discrimination because of my skin color. There are certain things in this situation that I can't see. But that doesn't mean that I stay on my side of the bottle and I'm oblivious to it all. What that means is that you and I are called to move from the side where we are on and to walk around the bottle and to begin to see things from the perspective of the other person. And this is exactly what we see happening in Acts chapter 10. So Acts chapter 10 is the story involving Peter, who's a Jewish leader, and Cornelius, who's a Roman centurion. So at this time, the Christian church is very Jewish-oriented. And yet, as you move through the book of Acts, you're going to see that church begin to become multi-ethnic and to go global. And this pivotal conversation, this pivotal interaction between Peter and Cornelius is what begins to make that shift. Because God prompts Peter to go to Cornelius, to go to a man who's very different from him, very different upbringing, very different cultural background, someone who's on the other side of the bottle. And they sit down and they have this conversation. And at the end of the conversation, Peter says this. He says, "I now see that God does not show favoritism, but God accepts all people who fear him and do what is right." This is the step that I believe that we need to be taking right now as a church. For those of us who are on the other side of the bottle, who haven't experienced that racism, we need to begin to take steps to walk around the bottle, to move to the other side, to listen to where others are at. In fact, that's what I want to invite you to do somehow this week, is just to find someone, maybe someone of a different skin color, and sit down with them like Peter did with Cornelius and just listen. Don't pretend like you know what's going on in their life. Ask them what their story is. Listen to their struggles. And then trust that in this, God is at work to reconcile us to himself. And I'll see you again next time.